Welcome back, everybody, to Sing Along with Ted.
Yeah.
That is one of a few songs, honestly, in the world that I go, that one's perfect. I don't know what you could do to make that better.
I have to agree. And you know what? Let's get to phone calls. But first, give them the number, Jimmy, because we got calls. Go ahead.
It's our second
Power Packed
Hour. So you're going to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, 866-870-5752.
Okay, let's get to Mark in Woodland Hills because he's been waiting an awful long time.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark, thanks for hanging on. What can we do for you?
Hey, my three favorite Patriots.
Hey.
It's been a sad week for Marines in particular, but people who love movies. With Gene Hackman's death, apparently there is no foul play, and I hope to God there isn't. But 30 years ago, my brother worked craft services for movie sets, and he was on location for that movie, The Quick and the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It was a good movie. Yeah, that and, The Unforgiven, great westerns.
Unforgiven is definitely.
It was being filmed in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was working the craft services there, feeding people, a deputy sheriff who was providing service security was chatting about guns with Mr. Hackman. And Gene commented that he'd love to shoot a Thompson submachine gun someday. Well, it turns out the deputy owned one. In fact, it was even in full auto.
Nice.
So he went home to fetch it. Came back, and turns out Gene had the time of his life, shooting hundreds of rounds through it. And I just thought I'd share that little bit with you. And one nice thing is my brother said he seemed to be very nice to the little people, because a lot of the famous folks, they treat you like dirt.
That can be a thing.
You're just invisible.
And I just like to say that I think his best movie was The Conversation, but my favorite was probably The Gypsy Moths.
Yeah, you mentioned that. And I was like, I got to check that out.
Unforgiven is a great, and Little Bill Daggett is a great character.
The Gypsy.
So all I can say is, Marine, rest in peace.
There you go.
And thank you, gentlemen. God bless you guys.
Thanks,
God
Mark.
bless
We'll talk to you later.
Great talking to you, Mark. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I don't know those ones. I'll be honest. I am not a huge Gene Hackman fan, not because he's a great actor, but he has been outspoken in the past about firearms, and so I always kind of steered away.
But he liked Thompson.
Yeah, but he did like it.
But who doesn't?
And I'm surprised that he didn't. I mean, he was in Bonnie and Clyde, where Thompsons and BARs ran amok. So I'm kind of surprised he didn't get to shoot one there.
And he was Lex Luthor. So
well, there's that, I guess. So he's got that going for him. Yeah. All right, let's get to James in West LA. James, what can we do for you, sir?
I checked my safe, and I noticed I have some rust on some of my firearms, so I'm trying to get some information on prevention and how to deal with it once you got on it.
Well, there's lots of things you can... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, first thing I noticed was this is calls from Santa Monica.
West LA.
Oh, West LA, close enough to Santa Monica or close enough to the ocean that this is going to be an issue. So get a dehumidifier.
Yeah.
Because that salt air, the bluing on firearms is...
advanced rust.
It's basically rust. Yep. So they've already started the process for you. So you do need to do anything you can to encourage it to stop.
Yeah.
A dehumidifier, if you have a good gun safe, a dehumidifier is good, even if it's just silica gel, something to absorb the moisture. And, boy, do you have a favorite moose milk that you use to coat with?
No, I really don't. Really quick, James, where do you keep your safe?
It's in a storage shed. But it's a nice shed. And actually, I live in more Covina area.
Oh, that's a whole different world then.
Okay.
It's better, but...
Well, because the reason I bring that up, I have a safe in my garage, and the washer and dryer, the humidity that comes out of those, man, you have to be really careful if you have a gun safe in the garage with a washer dryer, because it's the
thing I'd never thought of.
Yeah, the humidity that comes out of those, especially if you're washing with hot, it's almost like being in a shower.
Oh yeah,
a bathroom with a shower in it. So you got to be careful with those. Make sure you get a good seal on the door, and then the goldenrods. They make some.
The goldenrod is a good one.
They make one that plugs in. That's really nice. Or those, the gel packs that they pack in any of those, anything that comes overseas, those packs that you always go,
pads,
what the heck is this thing? And, it looks like a...
Do not eat.
Yeah, a little itty-bitty pillow that says don't eat because, when it's in your coffee, that's what you're going to do.
Well, I mean, something about it does make me want to open it up and try it out.
Yeah,
and it's okay to treat your firearms lovingly to a nice thin coating of some sort of lubricant.
Yeah, I like Rem oil.
Rem oil's good stuff.
It sprays and you can wipe it on real easy. But that's what I would recommend. And if you've got rust on it now, go out and get yourself a real fine, like a 007, 8, 10 steel wool, and get some Rem oil, spray it on, and then very gently rub over it.
Massage it off,
and that will take care of a lot of the problems. If it's gotten too deep, it will still pit, but there's no way around that.
Yeah. It will attack the metal.
You.
Okay, thanks for the
That's
call.
a good call.
Oh, and Farmer Ties put us said, put some charcoal in your gun safe. It absorbs moisture.
Charcoal also absorbs
Yeah,
moisture.
That's true. I've tried just about everything you can imagine, and they make that. It's that the little itty bitty. I want to call them styrofoam balls, but the little pillows,
Little peanuts.
Yeah, you can get them in a can that's about yay big, and the can's full of holes, and it's about the size, 3/4 of the size of a beer can, and you can get them. And I put a couple of those in a gun safe, and they seem to work fine.
On one of the little runs I did, I think when it was up north to Sonoma and all that for the last one, the guy had actual heating rods going through each one of
that's
the
the goldenrod thing that he's
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, those were, I mean, I accidentally grabbed a few of them just because. Yeah, but those worked. He was in a very moist climate, and even that day it was pretty overcast. But everything I was taking out was nicely dry. So hey,
Once it starts, it does seem to grow exponentially, doesn't it?
Yeah, rust. Old joke, but firearms only have two enemies. Yeah, rust and the government. So you got to be real careful, especially the old cobalt blues. Oh man, that stuff.
That's heartbreaking. It's so tissue thin, so
Yeah.
beautiful and so thin.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's where the name blue came from. Back in the old days, that cobalt, that bright royal blue. That's where because if you look at a gun, you go, well, it's blue.
it's no blue.
That ain't blue.
What are you talking about?
blackish.
Yeah, but it came from that cobalt blue.
That's so
Melissa's
pretty.
asking,
Yeah.
aren't there airtight safes or climate-controlled safes?
Well, yeah, but you're now
minute
you're
you open
talking
the door.
Yeah, and you're talking some serious
Yeah.
buckage. The one that I have in my garage, I installed a weather strip on the door itself, so when you close it, because I just don't have anywhere to put it. You know, gun safes, believe it or not, not that attractive. I have one, and I'll be honest, it wasn't a great safe to begin with. So I took it to my old buddy Jimmy, and we did like a real thin Bondo and made it and then painted it black and then put a real high gloss on it. And that thing, it looks like plate armor.
Class.
But if it's empty and you open that door, it'll fall on you. It's not a real great safe, but it looks really, really good. And that's your atypical gun safe. I mean, so many people go and they get the ones from, the big box stores, and they're just not great. So the best thing to do would be coat it. Putting them in rugs doesn't always help either.
Putting them in rugs, if moisture gets in the rug, you got a moist spot. I've seen more rust come out of those things.
I can't tell you how many guns I have taken in for auction where you look at one side and you're like, oh, that's beautiful, and then you turn it over,
and it was all nicely cased.
Yeah. Oh, and it's literally encrusted across.
Laying on that wet side, just sitting there soaking it up.
Take your boys out and exercise them once in a while.
Yeah.
Take it,
And then when you're done, oil them up.
Run a rag over them.
Yeah, oil them up, put them away.
Yeah.
And, nothing wrong with cleaning your guns now.
Yeah,
Just because I don't do it doesn't mean you don't have to.
the lumberjack has to sharpen his axe and make sure it's clean all the time. So you go do the same thing.
There you go. Oh, I love this song. All right. Hey, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
Quick, more phone calls. What's the number?
866-870-5752. One more time. It's 866-870-5752.
All right, we'll be back right after this.
Yes, sir.
Ain't no sunshine.